Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you all are good. Today we will do exercise 16b of book T2 and we do questions of basic level from question number 1 to question number 5 today. Let's start students. Now students, question number 1. A survey is conducted to find out the average numbers of hours the teachers in a school spend on making their students assignment each day. The data collected is given in the table. That is the data collected. These are the hours which teacher spends. In part number 1, construct a frequency table for the data. We have to make the frequency table. These are the average numbers of hours. All started from 1 and ends at 6. That's why I take the number from 1 to 6. Now I will observe how many times the 1 hours, how many days, what is the frequency of days in 1 hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5. And for 2, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is 8. And 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6. And 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4. And 5, 1 and 2. 6, 1 only. This is the frequency. And now our frequency table is done. In part number 2, draw a histogram to illustrate the data. We have to draw the histogram. Now students, on graph paper, I take the average numbers of hours along x-axis and frequency along the y-axis. Now we have to draw the histogram on this graph paper, and we observe number of hours is 1 and frequency is 5. It means this point. And I take the one small block is equal to I take the block is equal to 1 and 2, 3. That's I take the difference. And this is the frequency, and I started from 1 and 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is a difference of 1. Now on 2, there is a frequency of 8. On 3, frequency of 6. On 4, frequency is 4. And on 5, frequency is 2. And on 6, frequency is 1. This. Now students, very simple. The histogram is done. And now students, part number 3. What is the most common average number of hours of teachers spent on making the student assignment each day? What is the most common average number of hours? That is 2. We can observe it from the frequency table and also from the histogram. The average number of hours is 2, which value is largest is 8. Yes, we can write there. And the R2, the 2 hours is the most common average number of hours. In part number 4, find the number of teachers who participated in the survey. We have to find the number of teachers. We can find it by counting this table data, and we can also find by adding the frequency, that in at 1 hour there are 5 teachers, and to 8 we can add this. Now students, 8 plus 5, 13, and 13 and 6, 19, 23, 24, 25, and 26. Total number of teachers are 26. Now students, part number 5, find the fraction of teacher who spend an average of 3 hours making their student assignment each day. We have to find the fraction, 3 hours, 6 teachers, and the total number of teachers is 26, and that is the fraction. The who spend an average of 3 hours is 6, 26. We can simplify it. 3 times 2, 6, and 1 and 3. Yes, and this is the answer. This is a fraction that which we have to find. Now students, question number 1 is solved. Now students, question number 2, the number of the fire incident that occur in a city each day over a period of 60 days was recorded. And that is the number of the fire incident, and these are the number of the days. Draw a histogram to illustrate the data. We have to draw the histogram of this provided data. Now students, this is a graph paper. I take the number of the fire incident along the x-axis and the number of the days along the y-axis. And number of the fire incident 0, and number of days 60. And we have to draw it like that. We have to draw it 16, and this is on 0. On 1, 12. Number of fire incident 1. 2, it is 11, is the middle between 10 and 12, that point. And for 3, it is 9, is the middle 8 and 10, that is 9. And for 4, 6. For 5, 2, and for 6 also 2, and 7 also 2. Yes. Now students, that is a histogram which we have draw for the number of fire incident that I take along x-axis, and number of the days that I take along y-axis. The difference between this 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. I take the difference of 2 because I want that my graph is in the range in the graph paper. That's why I take the scale with a difference of 2. Now students, the histogram is done. Question number 2, find the ratio of the number of the days which had no fire incident to the number of the days which has more than 5 fire incident. We have to find the ratio. And our required ratio is that number with which has no fire incident 0, these are 16. Required ratio is 0, and which had more than 5 fire incident, more than 5 fire incident, 2 and 2, it is 4. That is the required ratio, 16 ratio 4, and when we have to cancel it we get 4 ratio 1. Riofeng says that the most common number of the fire incident is 16. Do you agree with him? Explain your answer. That most common fire incident is 16. No, that is wrong. We can observe from the data that the 16 is the number of days, not the number of the fire incident. That's why we write there no. And the most common number of fire incident is 0. That is the number of the fire incident 0, which happened most common 16 times, that there is no incident. That's why we not agree with him, and that is our explanation. Now students, question number 2 is solved. Now students, question number 3, the number of the laptops sold each day over a period of 19 days was recorded. That is the number of the laptops and that is the frequency. I take the number of the laptops along x-axis and frequency along y-axis. I have to draw according to this data provided. Yes students, from 0 to 5 the frequency is 9 and we have to draw it on, that is 9, and that's 0 to 5. And 5 to 10, that is 5. And from 10 to 15 it is 2. And from 15 to 20 again 2. And from 20 to 25 it is 1. That is the histogram between the number of the laptops and frequency. And now students, this data which is provided to us, I illustrate on the histogram, and that is the histogram which is done. Now students, part number 2, on how many days were the number of the laptops sold more than or equal to 15. That is the data. We can observe it that is less than number of less than 15, and we have to observe that that is greater than and equal to 15, and we want this. There are 3, 2, and we add 1 in it, we get 3. So the number of laptops equal to 15 is 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Now students, question number 3 is solved. Now students, question number 4, the histogram show the number of the hours spent on revising mathematics by all the secondary 2 students in a school during the week before the common test. In this question the histogram is provided to us, and in part number 1, using the class interval 0 is less than and equal to x and is less than 2, and 2 less than and equal to x is less than 4, and so on. Construct a frequency table for that data. We have to construct the frequency table now. First we have to construct the histogram from the frequency table. Now we have to construct the frequency table from the histogram. And the class interval is provided to us, 2 is provided to us, 0 and less than and equal to x is less than 2, and 2 less than is equal to x and less than 4. Yes. Now we have to move to 10, and 4 less than and equal to x, and 6. 6 less than and equal to x is 8. 8 less than equal to x is 10. Yes. That is the class interval which we have, which two are provided to us, and there is so on, and we have to move it to the value 10. Now on 0 to 2 there is nothing, it means it is frequency is 0, and from 2 to 4 it is 30, and from 4 to 6 it is 40, and from 6 to 8 it is 60, and from 8 to 10 it is 20. Now students, that is the number of the hour and that is the frequency. Now we have to find the total frequency. The total frequency when we add up 0, 7, 6, 7 and 6, 13, 14, 15. Yes, there is 15. Now students, part number 2, state the number of students who spend more than or equal to 4 but less than 6 hours on receiving mathematics in that week. And that is this graph, and this is 40. You can also observe from this more and equal to 4 and less than 6. Frequency is 40. That means its answer is 40 students. Now part number 3, find the total number of the secondary 2 students in a school. We have to find the total number of students. We also find the total frequency, that is 150, and it means there is 150 total students. Now students, part number 4, find the percentage of students who spend less than 6 hours on receiving mathematics for a common test. Now we have to find the percentage. Percentage of the students who spend less than 6 hours, that total number of student is 150, and the who spend less than 6 hours, who spend less than 6 hours 40, and we add 30 in it. 40 and 30, these are 70, and we have to multiply it by 100 to find the percentage. Cancel, and 5 3, and this is 2, and now 70 multiplied by 0, 140 divided by 3, and 143, 4, 12, 2 and 0, 3, 6, 18, and that is 2. And this is 346 percentage. And that is the answer of part number 4. Now we solved it. This is improper fraction. We convert into mixed number. Now students, question number 5. The following table show the distribution of marks of some student who took part in a science quiz. And that is marks, that is tally and lower class boundary. In part number A, we have to complete this table. And lower class boundary is the lowest endpoint that determine the class interval. That is the class interval, and that is the lower point is 55.5. And upper class boundary, this is 60.5, and for this 60.5 and 65.5, and this is 65.5, and this is 70.5, 75 point and 75, 85.5. For lower class boundary, we have to go behind 5 point, and for upper class boundary, we have to go 5 points above, and that is 100.5. Now students, we have to write the frequency now. Its frequency is 7, 5 and 2, 7. Its frequency is again 7. Its frequency is 5. Its frequency is 10. And it is 4. Sorry, 5. Again 5, 2, 3 and 3. To which classes do the mark 90.9, 66.2 and 81.5 belongs? Yes, students. In part number B, we have to find the class which these marks are belongs. 19.9 is belong to this class because it come in between it. It start from 91 to 95, and this is 90.5. We can observe lower class boundary, and that is the class for 90.9 class is 91 to 95, and for 66.2 is, this is the class boundary. This is 66 and 70. And for 81.5, and this belong to this class. 81.5 is 81 to 85. Now students, part number B is solve. Part number C, draw a histogram to represent the distribution. Now we have to draw the histogram of this provided data. Now students, that is a graph paper in which I take the marks from on x-axis and frequency on the y-axis. That is my class interval, which start from 55.5 to 60.5, and that is 70.5 to 70.5, 75.5, and it's end at 100.5. Now I will draw the histogram. Now we can observe this frequency is 7. Second one is also 7. And that is the 7. And from 66.5 is also 7. And now from 66.5 to 70.5, this is 5, and next one is 10. From 66.5 to 75 point, it is 5. 70.5 to 75.5, it is 10. And from 70.55 to 80.5, it's again 5. And 80.5 to 80.5, it's also 5. From 85.5 to 90.5, it is 2. From 90.5 to 95.5, it is 3. From 95.5 to 100.5, it is again 3. Now, students, this is the histogram which we draw, and our question number 5 is also solved. I hope you understand these questions very well. Thank you very much, students, for watching my videos. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.